The Fujicast is an independent Loading Zone production.
Thursday, 7th of May.
The Fujicast.
Welcome to the Fujicast. The, not so stay-at-home show, because there's green shoots of recovery in some areas where people are beginning to tentatively step outside their doors, wherever, different parts of the world. It's not so much like that here at the moment, of course. We're still, observing some fairly strict guidelines. But if where you are that's happening, then, let us know. Let us know how it's affecting you, how you feel. So we're the daily photo show that was weekly, but during this lockdown, we've gone daily, and we're going to remain daily until we're told that, myself and Kev are allowed to go out and play on the swings again together. Isn't that the way, Kev? Is that the rule?
Yes, and hopefully it will be very soon.
Says the man that's been swigging cider before the recording of this.
It's 2:10.
It's over the yard arm somewhere, isn't that the phrase? Or something like that. Anyway, welcome to the show. It's Thursday. These weeks, they rocket past, don't they? Before you know it, you're at Thursday. God,
it is incredible, isn't it? And Thursday's an exciting day, isn't it? Because we get to go out at 8 o'clock and clap in the street.
Yes,
that's like the big social event around here, because everybody stays out in the street and like house width apart chat, and Gemma's usually out there for about an hour.
She's not banging the pan for an hour, is she?
She doesn't do bang panning.
Bang panning? I'm sorry, that sounds like something very rude that you get up to in sort of parts of Wiltshire on a Sunday evening.
Uh-oh.
She does do pan banging, but she does stay out there and chat, gin and tonic in hand, chatting to the neighbours and all that kind of stuff. It's really nice, actually, and it does. I mentioned this right at the beginning. It reminds me so much of in Spain, where the old ladies late at night when the sun goes down, they all go out with their little deck chairs or their little wooden chairs, and they sit with their backs to the wall, because the wall is still cool. And and then they just kind of gaggle and gossip up and down the street.
Do you mean the typical Spanish, more mature lady attire of the black that they wear, don't they?
Well, only if they're a widow.
No, no. In Lanzarote, they all seem to. They go out to the squares. They're all dressed in black.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen them with a man?
Well, no. Come to mention it. No, I haven't.
That's it. That's in parts of Spain when your husband passes away. It's you mourn for good, and you wear black for good.
Well, in that little village I used to spend a lot of time is San Bartolome, which is in Lanzarote. They were all in black. Surely they hadn't got rid of all their husbands.
Well, there's a reason why Sam takes you there, perhaps.
Maybe there is. Oh dear. Anyway, so welcome to the show, and we'll get. In fact, before we get on with some questions, you've got something important you wanted to mention.
I have indeed. So, over the last few months or so, a friend of mine called Ian Palmer, some of you may have heard of him, has been setting up. He's been working really hard at doing this, and it's for various reasons. It's kind of been delayed, and vicious kind of changes in technology and stuff. And he's set up something called fujifund.org, and it's kind of fortuitous, really, that he's doing it now, because it's going to be for a fundraising exercise, and it's going to be a kind of global appeal, and essentially it's going to be for COVID relief, as well as the Trussell Trust to stop UK hunger.
Right.
And what he's done is he's spoken to, I think, around about 16 or 17 Fujifilm brand ambassadors, and I'm one of them, and we've each given him one of our pictures, which he's going to collaborate with Digital Lab, who we know also up in Newcastle. Yeah. They're going to do a huge kind of print of each one, and they are going to be sold entirely for the benefit of those two charities, and they're going to be kind of limited edition and all that kind of stuff. So Digital Lab are involved. Fujifilm themselves are sponsoring it. Also, Fuji Love, that we know very well, are also sponsoring it. Thomas at Fuji Love, and we're involved because we are basically talking about it. So fujifund.org is the website, which is live now, and you can see all kinds of stuff on there. The photographers involved are amazing. So we have the good man Dr. Jonas. Yep. We have Palais Schultz. We have Patrick Larocque, the God. We've got Rinzi Ruiz. All these people, their names. Look at that. Jonas Rask, Palais Schultz, Patrick Larocque,
Kevin Mullins.
Yeah.
No. Russell Ord is in there as well.
Russell Ord.
Yeah.
Isabel Courtier, she's absolutely amazing photographer from Belgium. Sonia Ziegler, Charlene Winfred also, who last time I saw Charlene, she was up in routes from Singapore, I think, to move to Iraq, of all places.
Wow, okay.
To document Iraq.
Yeah.
Ian McDonald's in Canada, Bert Stefani in Belgium. And then from the UK, we've got myself, we've got Damien Loveglove, we've got Brian Lloyd Duckett, Chris Weston, Paul Sanders, and Chris Upton.
Brilliant. Well, look at that. Esteemed bunch of folk as you are.
Yeah, and it's all for a good cause. And I know that Ian's been working amazingly hard behind the scenes for this. So the website's there now. I think the actual purchase, I should say, is only going to be for 14 days, and it's going to start on the 20th of May.
What one have you got? I'm just trying to look for the one that you've...
I actually went for the one that I took in the National Portrait Gallery of the two people practicing their waltz under the iconic stairwell there.
Ah, I've got it. Yes. Oh, that is a good shot. Oh, I like that one. Yes.
I like that. Gemma said, she'd quite like that on the wall. No, it's limited edition.
It's limited edition. No, you can't. No, you get out there and bang your pots.
Yeah.
With your gin.
Dancing Under the Stairs.
It's lovely. Yeah.
What I will say, I haven't spoken to Ian about this at all. So, whomever, if anybody does, in fact, buy my image on there, then I will do one of a couple of things. You can either come on a free workshop, or we'll do a free one-to-one on a webinar, or I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah, perfect. When you made that picture, by the way, was they? I would assume the two people there are completely unaware of the fact that you were making this picture.
Yeah, absolutely. So they were practicing. Some dancing. They were there for a while, actually. Oh, really? And I was on a workshop, so I had about 6 or 7 people with me. And I remember saying to them, right, what do you see now? And everybody was like, oh, there's people coming down the stairs. And I was like, oh, what, anything else? That guy over there is eating a sandwich. Anything else? Anything else out of the ordinary? And then they were like, oh, there's a couple of people dancing over there.
Yeah, maybe it's just normal in their life. I don't know.
Yeah. However, subsequently, I have to say, I have seen a couple of pictures of these people. I think they often go to the National Portrait Gallery. It's not the National Portrait Gallery. It's the Tate Modern. And I think they either work there or practice there or whatever. I don't know. So I have seen other stuff from them. But I love it. I love the reflection. I love the body form. I love the stairwell swooping away. It's one of my favourite pictures, actually, that I've taken.
Tate Modern is a great place to go and make pictures because they allow you to as well. It's one of those few places like it that allow you to make pictures within the building itself.
Tate Modern is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. We're very lucky to have that in our country.
Can't wait to get back there again. Nick Norris has written in. We over the next until the sales will start to happen. So what was it? What date? 16th of May? Did you say?
20th, I believe.
20th of May. We should probably pick. Why don't we pick out one person every single day and look at the image that they're selling?
What a good idea.
Yeah, we'll do that because that's a great way to support it even further, I think.
It is, indeed.
Okay, Nick Norris. I posted about Jerry Alsman in the Facebook group recently. You know about Jerry, do you?
No.
Well, that sort of, he says, I was surprised people hadn't heard of him. He's credited for manual techniques of photo montage in the darkroom that inspired the creation of Adobe Photoshop. I was trained by one of his students at UNF. And I've always wanted to meet Alsman since he's only a few cities away from me. I'm not sure how I've managed that, so I thought I'd ask you two if you could get him on the show instead.
Well, I wonder how old he is.
So, I don't know. I have to look him up.
Photoshop's been around since 1982, I think. Yeah. What was his name again?
Jerry Alsman, which is UEL SM.
I got it. Jerry Alsman.
That's it, yeah.
Born in 1934. He's 85 years old.
Well, still around.
Yeah, he's still around, absolutely still around. He's on Wikipedia.
No, he was born in 1934, did you say?
Yeah,
so I think
just before you.
Thank you. I think he would have been the same age as my dad. I'm pretty sure of that.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm just reading his stuff on Wikipedia.
Well, Nick Norris, we'll have a go. Nick had a PS, which he said, apparently I rag on my own photos, which is an expression I'd not heard of before, which I think means I'm unkind to my own ability. Is that right? Or as I call it, typically in English sense of self-deprecation, really. I think we all have that, don't we? I mean, although yours are typically Welsh. So,
yeah. I think that must be what it means.
Well, thank you for your kind thoughts. And in particular for thinking mistakenly that I was like Kev as well, a Fuji Grandmaster, which he thought I was originally, which I'm not. But I'm going to put you down there in the. I feel honoured to have been popped into that brigade along with Kevin, even if only in your mind. I'm going to be a bit Dobby-ish. I'm going to go and self-flagellate myself now with a damp copy of Photography Weekly or something. One from Sally Graham. Hello from Tenerife, where life is still uneasily quiet, worryingly so, as with my husband we own and run a bar. Perhaps not the best time to have one of those. Still, during downtime, I've managed to spend more time behind a lens and less time reminding spotty oiks, as Kevin calls them, to watch their language. I'm hoping to spend more time making seascapes and wonder if the two of you can suggest any kit that you think might be useful. A tripod would be good for starters, though don't tell Kevin it's to make cotton wool seas, because he doesn't like that kind of stuff. Love your humour, from Sally.
Well, that's what I was going to say about the.
I thought, yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind.
And listen, just because I don't like it does not mean that other people don't. And it's not very. I couldn't do it. It's very talented people do that. But yeah, of course, you need a tripod. You need some filters if you're going to be doing that. Some pretty heavy duty ND filters, presumably, to block out a load of that light. But I always think when I'm looking at kind of seascapey type stuff, do you know what I really love? The very, very abstract basic ones, just maybe even half an inch of this blue sea at the bottom, and then just bright sky above it or something, maybe a yacht or somebody bobbing their head about or something like that. I'm not, things like rocks having water thrown over them and stuff like that doesn't really float my boat, pardon the pun. But I like I do like the kind of very quiet, calming type images.
Yeah, I think the seascapes are good for that. I mean, see, Russell, we mentioned Russell Ord a moment ago, so it's probably a good time to mention him again. He's the Australian ex-photographer, Fujifilm ambassador, who takes his just enormously powerful images of the ocean. We talked about him the other day, didn't we? About swimming 15 kilometres offshore to go and get pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you could do that.
I mean, I'm not so sure. Mind you, the Southwest Australia seas can be fairly rough. I'm not so sure swimming out into the Atlantic would be such a good idea for you. But certainly, and getting into the waves. But then that involves, well, I mean, you did ask for kit. What about some housing? In a couple of weeks' time, Russell Ord will be on the show, be one of the weekend guests, and he talks about the housing that he uses to put his Fuji cameras in. And that would be a good idea, because then you could get in the sea. And then you could use things like, he uses wide angles. 1024 is one of his favourites. So he pops the 1024 on, puts it in some marine housing, and gets into the sea. And you should see the stuff that he gets. Enormously wonderful images. And so sometimes if you slow the shutter speed right down, you'll get motion blur. That's not the cotton wool sea effect, but the motion blur can also be an amazing effect, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, places like Tenerife, where you do get those late winter or early autumn, summer, sometime in the year, storms, and you're going to get those brooding skies over the Atlantic. Yeah. You also get the sandstorms that come in from Africa, I think, there. All that kind of stuff I think would be quite interesting.
Well, that's a good idea. Is that the Sirocco that they have there when it literally goes yellow, doesn't it?
They had one just before the lockdown. Did you?
God, yeah, they did.
There was. I shouldn't laugh, of course, but there was people who couldn't fly out of Tenerife because of the sandstorm that had come in from Africa. Yeah. And then once the sandstorm had lifted, they decided they weren't going to fly anybody out because of the virus.
I know. God, that's like perfect storm, if you pardon the expression on that one. But so there we are, some ideas, Sally, and hopefully the bar will open again soon. Nando Sealands has Nando. That's me wanting my chicken. Nando's. I want to go to Nando's. Nanto Sealand. Sorry. G'day, boys. As usual, keep up the fantastic work. Really like what you've done with the website. Oh, that's all Kev's work, you see. That website. It does look great, by the way. When you what do you call it? You say you dress the posts.
I dress the posts.
What do you mean
first thing in the morning? Well, I go and add all of the spurious stuff. So we suck in the data from the place that we host the podcast.
Yep.
And then the main kind of headline stuff, that all gets auto-populated now, which is great, because I used to have to do that manually. And then the rest, like the images, the supplemental videos, I do sometimes, if it's relevant, I'll do time jumps, so you can jump to certain parts of the podcast in the episode. I have to do all that manually. So that's what I mean by dressing the episode.
Oh, I see. Well, it looks very, very good when you do it. The website, I think, is just, I'm really proud to be associated with it, and that's all your work. So thank you, Kev. So from Nanto, firstly, as an Aussie, every single, oh dear, telling off, every single time I hear,
stop it,
I cringe a little. Scott Morrison, aka ScoMo, I didn't realise it was called ScoMo, or Scotty from marketing, is not the most inspiring of leaders. This is in Nanto's mind, of course. He generally exhibits the personality of a damp sponge, he says. I'm so sorry. I didn't realise you felt that way about him. So I'm going to be greedy, and I'm going to ask for a few questions, which hopefully will make up for us using this jingle.
Stop it.
Question 1. I hear lots of people talk about Photo Mechanic for importing photos as part of their workflow. For those of us AMs who don't take as many images and don't want to spend extra money, is there a free stroke nearly free piece of software anybody can recommend for organising and importing images off their cards?
There is another one, I think, and if I remember rightly, it's called ACDC, not the band, ACDC, SEE. I will link to it,
as in
of course.
C, right, okay. Yeah.
ACDSEE. It's those silent letters again and again.
Yeah, you love them.
Ridiculously horrible things. Now, I believe that is free, or certainly has a free element to it, and I think that's, it used to be free, and now I'm looking on the website, and now it's saying it's $99 or something. So, anyway, there are various things. Faststone Photo Viewer is another one, but that's Windows only. Faststone have quite a few little utilities like renaming and batch processing and stuff like that were actually made about 10 years ago. They're old. The interface looks really dated, but they're really good, and they're all free. Faststone Image Viewer, I think. ACDC is another one. Other than that, I think Photo Mechanic, if you're dealing with lots of pictures and you need to be doing selections, I think it's worth the investment.
So powerful. I've just looked it up. $139.
$139. So if you'd asked us that 10 weeks ago, what would that have been in pounds? It would have been about
two shillings and 4 stone 5.
£145 or so about 10 weeks ago. Now, £3,648 and party your house.
Wheel it in a wheelbarrow, you'll be done. Photo Mechanic, so powerful though, isn't it? It is by far the quickest thing for sorting out RAW files I've found.
Oh, any raw files, yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, it's industry. It's used by AP and Reuters and all that. It's for the stringers out on the field that need to get images back and captioned and sorted really quickly. And it is incredible.
Right, question 2, because there's 3. I've tried back button focusing. Here comes the back button focusing question. We should have a jingle for back button focusing.
We said that last time. Back button focusing with Kevin.
On my XT2, as I previously did on my Nikon. Yes. Is there a way to couple both the exposure and focus point with a single back button? Currently, if I back button focus and recompose, the exposure will then re-meter off the new composition when I depress the shutter button. I don't want to be pushing 2 buttons, Kev, on the back to lock focus and exposure, as I'm not that coordinated. How do you lock the exposure on the same spot as the focus point when using the back button focusing? So I'm batting this one firmly to you because you are back button focusing expert.
Okay, so X Pro, what was the camera?
2. Oh no, XT2. XT2.
No, I don't have that with me right now. However, so perhaps on the XT2 it wasn't there. I can't remember, but there's an option in the button and dial settings on the cameras that allows you to set up how the AEAF lock button works effectively, and whether it is going to lock both exposure as well as autofocus. Now, that I cannot verify and cannot remember whether that was on the XT2 or not, or whether it was new on the XT3, X Pro 3, etc., etc. No, I don't think you can.
No, okay.
Double check, but I don't think you can. You can on the X100, on the XT3 and above.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure. I don't have my cameras.
Well,
with me,
we're giving you a big shopping list, aren't we? Out there in Australia for you need an XT3 and Photo Mechanic. So far, you've written in to ask us for free advice. We put it all in a basket for you. Final question, Kev. So this one definitely is at you. I believe you use WordPress for your websites. It's interesting. Please correct me if I'm wrong, in brackets. Do you use any particular editor, e.g. Elementor or Gutenberg, or do you develop it all from scratch, being the guru that you are with all that stuff?
Okay, so the way WordPress works is you have WordPress itself, which is the content management system, which is the architecture, the bones behind it, if you like. And then typically you're going to throw a theme on top of that, which is the paint, so how it looks. And then within that, you're going to have some kind of editor. So Gutenberg is the new modern standard one that comes with WordPress. So WordPress is these tools in WordPress are developed by a company called Automic, which are part of the WordPress organization. So all of those are free. That's totally free. You don't pay for WordPress as it is as such. Then you can get like advanced editors like Elementor. There's others. There's kind of page designers and stuff like that, which allow you to be a little bit more creative. However, I use Gutenberg only because it's far more lightweight. If you want your website to go a bit quicker, just keep with the Gutenberg stuff. It's optimized. The JavaScript is quick. Everything is good. You're not going to have as much flexibility in terms of creativity with it, but it's hard. It's less easy to break for a start. It's going to be quicker and it's free.
So, Nanto, in Australia, there is your answer.
The Daily Show Photo Challenge.
Oh, yes. Only 2 more to go now because we're mopping up from last week. Last Thursday, of course, it was it was a good theme because it was our 100th show, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is the last one then.
It is the last. We didn't. No, we had one on the previous Friday though, didn't we? No, we didn't. No. Oh, Kev,
that's why I've been so excited all day.
You're going to be missing this. I can find you something new for next week if you like, because the caption competition has kind of gone a bit awry.
Well, now, do you see now my pain for the last 6 weeks?
I completely understand it. So, all right. So the last of these to review, look through and choose your favourite.
Okay, so obviously it was last Thursday, which was our 100th episode edition, and we had the theme was the number 100. We had around about 35, 40 entries. Simon Berry's CD collection made it again. He's had that in there about 3 or 4 times, I reckon.
He was determined to win it.
He was determined to win it, yes. Well, there's some very good records on there. Chris McSherry put a couple of cacti?
Cacti, yeah.
Cacti,
yes.
2 cacti.
Yeah.
Is it 2 cacti or 2 cactuses?
Just cacti. If you've got a couple of cactuses out in the back garden, you'd say, look at my cacti, wouldn't you?
What if you've got 5 cacti?
Well, you're even luckier. Look.
Yeah, but you only wanted people to look at 2 of them.
Yeah, but look at the 2 of my 5 cacti. There we go. I don't know who was that, you or me, but it was very, very fortunate timing.
That wasn't me binging. No, that doesn't make sense. That cannot possibly be right. Look at 2 of my 5 cacti.
Yeah.
No, you'd say look up 2 of my 5 cacti.
No, you wouldn't. In a moment, you're going to be telling Sal to say meme.
Look, 2 sheeps. Anyway. And the reason why he put his cactuses up there, cacti, is because he said there's exactly 100 spines.
It's not John St. John, it's John St. John, as we found out.
No, yes, that was still on Chris McSherry. McSherry confusing us with his cactuses and cacti.
Okay.
John St. John Smith.
Yes.
It always reminds me, when we see his name, it always reminds me of the people from Staines in London. Staines, the people in who kind of grew up there, they say, it's not Staines, it's St. Ains.
It's Staines, I think you'll find, yes.
Very expensive place to live, I agree, but it's still Staines.
It is Staines, I'm sorry.
We have a place just around the corner from us called Crudwell as well, which is not particularly nice.
It really upsets the people of Windsor, with very large Windsor, with one of the Queen's hems, of course, that they have to have a Slough postcode.
Oh yeah. Okay, John St. John Smith Windsor did a remote control of 2 cups of tea.
Yep.
Which made the 100. Chris Marshall was very clever and actually shot on the day, which is bonus points from me.
Hallelujah.
And he said, my daily walk today influenced by homeschooling. And so he's got 3 speed road signs. Right. One that says 40, one that says 30. Yeah. Guess what the other one says?
Wouldn't be 100, would it?
No. Oh. 40 plus 30.
Oh, 7. Would it be another 30 sign then? Is that what you mean? Yes. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. I was in a totally different place. I do apologise.
What's the collective name for road signs?
Sin. It's a sin of signs.
Jeremy Baker put up a picture of Captain Tom, Colonel Tom.
Colonel Tom
now, because he was also 100.
Yes, he was.
And he popped up a couple of times in the thread, actually. I can't quite see the other one. And the one that I really liked, however... this is the one I was referring to. It was Katie Salisbury, and it was Captain Tom Moore's 100th birthday card presentation in pictures, which she photographed on her phone.
Colonel Tom.
Very good. Katie Salisbury. I like that.
Well done. Well, tomorrow, Kev, being Friday, it's the pub quiz. We're getting very into this now. We've been writing questions like mad for the lock. Was this called the lock-in or locked-in? Locked-in for the locked-in pub quiz, which you can come into if you have an invitation accepted. See, we take no responsibility for this from Steve Vaughan or Peter Casbergen, I think, as well. Or is it just Steve runs that? I think it's Steve. Steve's the landlord, isn't he?
Yeah, Peter usually just sits in the corner and doesn't say much, doesn't he?
No, he gets the real hump if there's not a question about Formula One or something to do with Holland.
Yeah.
We love you dearly, Pete. We really do.
Right. Cacti is the Latin plural of cactus, and some writers use it in English. Cactuses is the English plural.
Oh, can't be right.
It is. It's on grammarist.com. How to use cacti versus cactuses correctly.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, there we go.
There we go. So you were wrong. You were right, but I was wrong and right as well as you were wrong and right. Cacti is the Latin plural of cactus, and some writers use it in English. Cactuses is the English plural.
Well, look at that. We have our very own Alan Gump. Alan Gump is alive and well and living in Kevin Mullins. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then, Kev.
Bye-bye.
The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.